This is the Iowa Weather Report for Friday, October 11th, 2013. Now, our first look at the 0Z GFS model run. At 1 p.m. this afternoon, we have the energy moving into the Dakotas with the trough mostly from the plains westward. A ridge trying to build over the south and east with some weaknesses over the mid-Atlantic into New England. That's producing a lot of rain there. We have a low-pressure center over South Dakota. That'll be dragging a cold front through the state. There could be an isolated shower or storm into the western counties later today and into this evening and overnight in the eastern counties. Moving out here on Saturday, could be some early day rain in the far eastern counties with clearing later in the day. Highs today in 70s and 80s. Tomorrow, down into the 60s for highs. That looks to also be the case here on Sunday. High pressure about near Rochester or La Crosse. But you can see the moisture is already building across Texas and even up into the Central Plains states, and that's going to be starting to move in here on Monday with another low-pressure center. This one over Kansas will be sort of on the cooler side of this system, so temperatures will be held down once the rain starts late Monday in the western counties, and then here on Tuesday as the low pressure will be moving through the state. Readings will likely be held down in the 50s, especially Tuesday, with backwash wraparound rain possibly lasting into early and maybe the middle of Wednesday as the low-pressure center moves into the Great Lakes. Then you can see off to our northwest a cold front coming down across the Dakotas and Montana with some rain and maybe a little bit of wintry precipitation. That front comes through here Thursday, but very little moisture with it. There could be a very isolated shower that could have some graupel in it, especially near the Iowa-Minnesota border. Temperatures will plummet down into the 50s, and even a week from today, that cold air is going to be entrenched. You can almost see an omega-type pattern with a ridge trying to back up into Greenland with the northwesterly flow coming down and energy around it. That's going to mean it's going to be cold. Highs at this point look to be maybe in the 40s. Lows maybe near freezing. We could have some rain, maybe mixed with some graupel, maybe mixed with some sleet. It's just going to be yucky. Into the extended period, it doesn't look much better. We have a 588 ridge over the Gulf, but that's not here, and there's a trough overhead, or just about overhead. A little bit of a west-southwesterly flow aloft, but that's not going to mean a whole lot because here comes a big storm. More cold air coming down, and this cold air looks much worse. Big storm moving into the Hudson Bay. That could bring some showers and thunderstorms to our east and snow to our north and west. And even at the end of the period on October 26th, it still looks cold. A trough axis off to our east. We have a northwesterly flow coming out down from the Yukon and the Northwest Territories. The energy is still up to our north, and that looks very cold for places like the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, even into the Tennessee Valley, the New England states. It's going to be downright cold by the end of the month. But now when we take a look at the satellite image from last evening, we had the system over the mid-Atlantic in New England producing some rain, some of it quite significant over Pennsylvania, and a storm system with that curlicue over Colorado moving into Nebraska. Taking a look at the Watch 20 map from last evening, several winter weather issues over the Colorado Rockies and adjacent states, high wind warnings and advisories across the plains, fog in the south, flooding in Pennsylvania. QPF chart, precipitation over the next 5 days through Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock, showing rainfall from the two systems we speak of, today's and later early next week, could be upwards of 3/4 to maybe 1 1/4 inches.